couldn't really because, right? You can't go back through more than once or twice. So, like, that sister wouldn't have been able to go back through.
Well, I think it depends. If they had already gotten through, then you're fucked.
And
so
again...
That probably did happen. Somebody must have turned around before they got there, noticing it didn't work.
And I know theoretically you couldn't, like, send a letter back with a bird because birds can't go through the barrier. But, like, also theoretically, they could go fucking around.
They could go around if they were willing to make that trip. And there's, like, I don't know why a bird would just fly away from the shore, assuming
Magically
it can go
compelled.
to the shore. Yeah, some birds do weird shit like that, I suppose.
Anyways, these trips are usually short trips anyways. They last about a year. That trip took 20 for Verna, though,
Oops.
as we know. At the palace, it would have taken her 300 years to age as much as she did. We know that. She's, like, way older than everybody her age now. So going on that trip cost her 300 fucking years, not 20.
Yeah, 20 seems bad enough, because we're thinking about it in terms of, like, our lifetime.
Yes.
They're like, man, 20 years is a long-ass fucking time. But that would have been 300 years.
Yeah, and she's already aged that much, so she can't go back. Like...
Yeah, no, there's no getting him back.
Yeah.
And they do make a reference about that, I think, in the last chapter. It's like the one thing nobody can heal is age.
Yeah.
And so it just, I think Goodkind is trying to point out how much of a toll that trip actually took on Verna.
Yeah, it's a huge cost. And the part that burns the most is just that Anne didn't tell her about that cost going in.
Right.
Like, she paid it. She's not happy about it. But if she would have known about it going in, she would be a little less pissed off at this point about it.
At least she would have had all the info,
right.
Man. Like, if you're gonna... Okay, so I've been playing with investment, and I will keep this very brief. I apologize. But, like, you have to gauge the risk, and to do that, you need all of the information before you do literally anything.
Well, especially...
Without all the knowledge of the risk, like, you're just walking in blind to something that you're probably gonna get fucked by.
Well, especially if she didn't even have the choice. Like, I'm being forced to fucking do this. You know I'm gonna do it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So, like, just fucking tell me. Don't dangle me and
like,
be like, oh, you might find him in 6 months, and then it's been 2 years. Oh, maybe another 6 months. 10 years later. Fuck you.
It's like, I'm on the team. You can tell me which sport we're playing, okay?
Right, exactly.
I'm here to help you win.
But Verna is proud and glad she went on this journey. She's not pissed off that she went. She had gotten to see the world and lived the stuff of reports, stuff that these sisters sitting in these palaces are never gonna fucking see.
I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
I got to make the reports.
Yeah, I got to be alive.
Yeah, I got to live life.
Yeah.
Like a normal-ass life.
Not read about, like, animals in books. I got to see fucking animals, okay?
Right. And that's something that, like, almost all of the people at the palace are never going to be able to do.
They've been there since they were 9-ish.
Ish. Yeah, well, yeah, ish, give or take. But, like, just 20 years.
Oof.
How many of you can remember the last 20 years? That would be a blur of 300 years to anybody at the palace. And it would be really hard to remember shit, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I think so, too. And the other thing she did is help save the fucking world by being a part of Richard's whole storyline, basically.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Save the world, no big deal.
She's just not realizing that this all means a lot to her. Like, she's fucking glad she went. And, yeah, she's happy.
It means a lot to her now.
Yeah.
Because then she wasn't quite so happy about it.
No, she was not. Even a little bit ago, even when she got back with Richard, she wasn't happy about it.
Right. No, yeah, she was a very stern woman.
You know what sometimes calms stern women down, Nate?
As your husband, I feel like this is a trap, and I should not answer that question.
Well, I feel like having a nice cold beer with somebody can loosen them up.
Oh, yeah. That. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We're on the same page then. We're fine.
I think it's time for a beer break. That's the end goal here. That's where I was trying to go.
Me too. So I don't say anything else that potentially gets me in trouble. Oh,
okay.
Hey, look. Well, today we have another No Rules variant. And I am super happy about that. You've probably already heard it in my voice, even though I only have half a glass left, and all I had to begin with was one glass. Same for Jade. So I'm trying my best to
savor
it. That's a word I learned today. But it's difficult. No, I knew what savor was.
God, I hope so. I was like, no, you did not.
No, but it's good, and I want to drink it fast, and I can't. Well, I can, but then by the end of this podcast, I'm going to be tanked. Let us know if you'd like to hear that someday. We'll get smashed before we start recording and see how that even works out. Okay, but this variant is the No Rules coffee with Ferris coffee. Now, I haven't had Ferris coffee.
No.
So I don't know how that tastes. But I've had this. And based on this, Ferris coffee is very, very good.
It gets a thumbs up.
I can say, let's see here. This is another 15%er, so very, very strong. However, the coffee somehow cuts the bourbon and the spice that normally goes into this beer.
The bitter, I think. Probably.
Yeah, and it just makes it so smooth. Like,
His eyes are very large right now while he's talking, guys.
Very big.
I don't know if you
when we
can picture that, but he's emphatically telling you what he's saying right now.
When we first cracked this open and I took my first sip, I was so excited I forgot to do the traditional clink it, which is a crime, and I apologize.
Yeah,
Jane.
he didn't toast me.
I was just like, I took like a whole 60 seconds to just be like, oh my God. It's so good.
And then I told him
God.
And then I told him he needed to calm down because he can't drink it fast because he'll be gone and then he'll be sad. And drunk.
My God. Sorry. No, it's very, very good. Very, very strong. Highly recommend. I think we've got 2 more of these. One more. That's a damn shame, but I will buy more. I've got no problem doing that. I always love stopping at Perrin because I know I'm going to get something good.
Well, I'm going to finish, maybe not finish this glass. I'm going to sip this glass a little bit more, and we'll be back right after this.
Done.
Hey guys, Jade here from All the Things, and I want to talk to you a little bit about 4 Acre Freedom. 4 Acre Freedom is a family-owned and operated one-stop shop for everything you're probably already looking for. They've got great shirts and hoodies. Don't forget your beer koozies. Those are essential. I mean, we know all about that. We actually have some with the All the Things logo on it, and they look pretty sweet. Just saying. They've got custom-made rings and jewelry too, which Nate and I also have, and they're awesome. We posted those on Facebook if you want to get a better look at what those might turn out like. They do custom woodwork and signs, like if you want a grace or a quote. They have a thingy that'll just etch it all out on wood so you get exactly what you want every single time. They can do leather work. You want a custom sheath for your knife? Do you need a new belt? They can do that too. I mean, you can put those 2 things together and probably make a pretty sick baldric, just saying. And also, they have farm-to-table bread, candies, and confections, which are delicious. We have tasted them all. Look, guys, here's the thing. Everything they do is of the best quality, and it's all literally handmade. The value is there, the quality is there, everything they do is awesome, and you should check them out for yourself. They're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and of course, you can check them out at 4acrefreedom.com. High quality, handmade.
Hey, welcome back into the show. And the thing that and my beer's gone. And that is unfortunate. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. We are back. And so we are still talking about Verna inside of Anne's secret place. So not that place. Not that place. Another secret place that I'm sure she loves equally as much.
Golly.
Holy shit. I need to keep talking.
Jeez.
So Verna had found a whole box of the books. The books, specifically the journey books.
Yes.
Tied together with their twins in her office. As she ran her hands over this journey book, she recognizes that this is the very one she carried for so long. It's got 3 dots on the top, a little scratch on the bottom of the cover. Like, she recognizes this book.
Yeah.
I thought this was really cool. Because we have a lot of very, I will call it well-loved Terry Goodkind books on our shelf right now. And I know which one is my book.
Yeah, you could tell.
Because it's, the cover's a little cracked or the binding is open or like one of them, well, we got it in this condition, to be fair. But one of them is missing the cover altogether. and I recreated it with tape.
Yeah.
But that's copy number 1 for us, you know? We have others now, but I guess the point is that she feels an affinity for that specific book.
Yeah, she looked for it, but she couldn't find it in the office. Like, she looked in the twins, and she couldn't find it in the box.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
She took the time to look at all for the book, so of course it's important to her.
Yeah, and okay, in a little bit, I didn't write this in the notes, but it mentions that she calls it hers, even though she knows it's not hers, it's the palace's. And I'm like, okay, you had it
property
for fucking 20 years. Everybody else has it for 1 year. I think that's yours. Like, at that point, that's payment for you going 19 times longer than any other bitch. I get to keep my journey book.
You know, that actually might not be a bad way to do it. Once you take that journey, that becomes your book. The thing is that, well, no, it would work because the other one is just stays at the palace.
Yeah,
with whoever's giving you your directions. But the one you take, you should get that one and the direction book. So now you have a set of books with you for like the rest of your days.
I mean, it would be cool, but you're only allowed to leave like once if you leave. So they reuse the books.
Yeah, but okay.
They get deleted every time.
Hear me out. They have a lot of money there, though. Apparently, they have endless gold.
No, but
and they can afford whatever the hell they need.
It has to do with them being like the deletion part of the stylus is like subtractive fucking magic, so they can't replicate it. So they have a set number, I think, is the dealio.
That's a real bummer.
Yeah. But Verna should get to keep hers. Like, she should be the exception.
You know what? She took the longest journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By far.
Or, well, yeah, they can't make more. So, yeah, give it to her. Give it to her. Do a nice thing.
Even if they don't, I'm just saying, she had it given to her again by the prelate. That shit is yours. Don't be like, oh, it's the palace. No, it's not the palace's. Verna, that shit's yours.
I got a welding helmet at work that's about the same thing. I've been using it for a long-ass time, and while I'm not going to admit here on the podcast that I've considered taking it, which I won't because it is company property, I have considered being like, that's my helmet now, dude. It's got my face stuff in it. Like, I was the one that had the cinders fall through the top and burn my hair and scalp, so...
My scalp is in it. It's mine now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That seems like it should be a rule. Right next to the I licked it, it's mine rule.
Yeah.
So she looks at the paper this journey book was wrapped in, and on it is a message in the prelate's hand. She just got a Christmas present.
Yeah.
It says to guard this with your life. With your life. So important. She knows that it's Anne's writing because her last correspondence with her in this book is burned into her mind. You know the one. It's the one where Anne tells her to, like, follow the orders or face the consequences to using the Radahan on Richard. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, don't fucking do it.
Dude has subtractive.
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking kill you.
Well, she didn't say that, but that's why.
She didn't say that. That was the problem. But, like, that's it. And that, you know, it's burned into her memory, and I guess you can't really blame her for having that. Sounds like trauma to me.
Well, yeah, because she was forced to bring back this grown-ass man who had fucking magic and was hard-headed, all the way back without using her magic the way she's been trained. She wasn't able to do anything the right way. She had to kill her sisters.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Like, this was a much harder journey than she was trained to actually fucking take. Like, they knew that was a possibility, but, like, nobody else has done this the way she has.
Right, and even after all that time, she's still trying to be like, hey, I'm trying to follow the training, and then Anne is saying, no, don't do that.
But not giving explanation, right.
Now she knows that Anne was saving her life because Richard probably would have killed her had she tried to use the collar on him.
Yeah, with a subtractive.
Right, he's got subtractive. She doesn't know how to handle that shit in the collar. That's not in the training. That wasn't in the book, dude. She was starting to understand the need to order someone to do something without having to explain yourself.
Right, like, she's so pissed at Anne this whole time, but in being mad at her, now she's starting to realize why she did it. Like, she didn't tell me everything, because had she told me, it would have been a much bigger, weirder thing when she came back. The Sisters of the Dark may have known. She didn't really trust me. She did trust me, but she didn't really trust me.
I think one of the cool things about this whole concept is that if you tell